fans, the king of elite runners, Elite Godson is here for more Pixelgun 3D Weapons 100 Weapon tier list. This time will be part 9. And just a quick disclaimer, I forgot to do a quick edit on part 8. I forgot to do the little transition thing, so I do apologize about that, but hopefully for this one will be a lot more better. So anyways, here is part 9 for 100 Weapon tier list of Pixelgun 3D. Let's begin. Starting off with number 801, the Ambush Croc. I thought it was going to be called the Crocodile, but unfortunately it's called the Croco Rifle. I'm just going to call it Crocodile anyway. First up is the Ambush Crocodile. For this one, it may be possible for a cat spam on this one, but unless if it has like a little delay animation, like when it starts to be like this. So like for example, like it just transforms back to a normal crocodile. But if it has a little animation like that, then it'll be a no-go for a cat spam. But I would still definitely recommend for low and moderate casual players. And it's also good for sniper forts as well too. So it does have the bleeding effect and whatnot and the target mark, and it's also possible for a 1 to 2 hits to the body and to the head. But it depends on what modules you have anyway. So Ambush Crocodile, I would say possible for cat spams, but has a huge delay animation, then no go. But definitely recommend for casuals, for moderates, and low level players. And possible for high level players as well too, for good experience. Next up is the Bubble Slasher. It is a special ability, a special category weapon. It is unfortunately not possible for a cat spam. It's a similar thing to as the Deep Ambusher, but the only biggest downside about it is the similarity as the Ambush Crocodile. But the Bubble Slasher in this one, because it's like a looping shot, which has the same thing as for the Deep Ambusher, but also has an area effect, but does not have the chain damage ability in this one. So, unfortunately, Bubble Slasher, I would say not for cat spam wise, unless if it has a little bit of delay, then I would definitely recommend it if you have pretty good lucky hits and whatnot. But if it has a very huge one, then a no-go on that. But I would definitely recommend for casuals, for moderates and low-level players, and very well experienced for high-level players as well too. So that's it for Bubble Slasher in that one. Next up is the Disguised Rifle. This one right here, I believe, is the very first ability for the ammo restore. It has a pretty good reload speed and does have the scope. But it takes a while for the ammo restore to actually kick in. So, for example, let's see here. One, 2. So it's mainly like roughly like 3 seconds in general, for my opinion. And it'll take up like, it'll just give you like 5 ammo back anyway. So like, this Disguised Rifle will be a good option to go for this, for automatics, for casuals, for... I'm saying for fours for everything. So I would definitely recommend for casuals, for lows and moderates, and also high-level players. It does have the headshot ability added. Not headshot ability. Headshot added in. So pretty good damage rate. I would definitely recommend this for like any type of maps in general. So for like classic pools and whatnot. AKA back rooms as what it is now. So on and so forth. Unfortunately, it does not have the piercing shot ability in this one, so all it has is just the scope. It does have X-ray vision, so I have like a hard time and whatnot, so it'd be a good idea to go for. And ammo restore and automatic as well too. So for Disguised Rifle, I'm like going off topic and saying weird things about this. So Disguised Rifle, no for cat spams, yes for casuals, for moderates, lows, and high level players. For this one. And a little pro tip about X-ray vision. If you just see a player just standing still and whatnot, and you do like cat spams, if you have any type of laser weapon with wall break, if you're using X-ray vision, it will be a good thing to go for. So then you can just swap over to your backup or your sniper or whatnot, and just keep firing it, and then you got yourself a good little challenge task right there for you, for the shoot 4 players with the wall break ability. So Disguised Rifle will be a good option to go for any type of X-ray vision. in it, including the Fair Sheriff as well too. Moving up next is the Enchanting Altar. This one over here, it's a similarity as for this guy's rifle, but unfortunately, it has no scope. I believe it does have the area damage added in. It does not, but it has like a tiny little bit of area damage in it. Pretty good lifesteal ability in this one. Poison ability, and it's an automatic weapon. I will say it's pretty decent and whatnot for a good automatic. So I would definitely recommend this for casuals, for lows and moderates. And also for high level players as well too, but unfortunately it cannot be cat spammed because it's an automatic primary weapon. So no for cat spams, yes for casuals, for lows, moderates, and highs. And it's a pretty good weapon to go for as well too. So I would definitely recommend this as the best weapon, like just a top one. So I'll probably think about that idea as well too. Next up is the Spirit Mask, the cousin of the Sly Wolf, but this one's a heavy type weapon, and it can also shoot stuff as well too. But the only difference about Sly Wolf is that it only has like the dash ability, but this one does not have the dash ability. So when you have it fully charged up, it'll just fire at it immediately. So just be wary about it. So there will be kind of like a different size, not different size, like different set comparison for it. So Spirit Mask, I will definitely recommend a good shielding type weapon if you don't have Sly Wolf. But don't forget, it also has the charge shot ability and also has like the firing ability. So just be very mindful about it. But I don't see a whole lot of folks using any type of shield weapons like Spirit Mask or Sly Wolf in the third weapon, which I'm not going to say yet because there'll be a little bit of spoilers in it. So Spirit Mask, I will definitely recommend for casuals at low and moderates, and also very well experienced for high level players. But the only downside is that Sly Wolf, Spirit Mask, and the third weapon that also has the shield ability, it will take up your ammo, like a very good decent amount. So just be very mindful about it and watch the ammo usage as well too, especially when you have to hold it up and try and make sure you don't get hit. There will be weapons that have the shield penetration on it, so just be very mindful about it. I will definitely maybe not recommend for cat spams because of its delay, maybe, because and also charge shot ability on this one. It is possible for one hit entirely to the body and one hit to the head, but it just only depends on what it actually has in mind. So make sure to be very careful about it. But for casuals, I would definitely recommend for lows, moderates, and very well experienced for high level players. And that's it for Spirit Mask. Next up is the Magical Boomerang. This one is the same area as the Marooning Anchor from my last video. It's just like a boomerang ability. It can be one full hit to like entire thing if just like enemy is coming towards you, whatnot. It has the piercing shot ability, so like it just be like, ha, you missed, and then it just comes right back. That's it. And it does also have the wall break ability, but I believe the Marooning Anchor doesn't. It does not have the wall break ability, but the boomerang one does, so I would definitely recommend for casuals, but not for cat spams. For casuals, any type of category in this one. The Foam Sword, I do see a few folks use this weapon for a knife party, and also any type of like matches like team fight or deathmatch. It does have like a critical hit ability, and the headshots can also add it in. So I'll probably say this would be a good weapon for a knife party, for low levels and moderates, and especially for high level players as well too. But the only downside, it has a very like a slight delay. So you can still use this in cat spams, but when you're swapping over to your melees and whatnot. So like for example, you swap over to your backup and then your melee, it will have a slight delay when you still try to take a little free break before another enemy gets you. So it can still be a good cat spam weapon, but has a slight delay where you're still trying to attack. But I'll definitely recommend this for knife party. So for Foam Sword, possible for cat spams and casuals. Definitely recommend for lows, moderates, and highs. Next up is the Sand Tower Pistol. I do see bots use this weapon just for any type of matches when playing around. I don't see a whole lot of players use this though, so that's the only downside about it. It does have the critical... No, it doesn't. It's like a backup shotgun type, but it's not good for cat spams because it has a delay in it. It does have the bleeding, but I believe there may be a tiny little glitch in it where it does not show the blinding effect in it. And I believe when you're in training camp, like for example, to show you off, it does not show it. But I think when you're super close to the enemy, it will do like the blinding effect. But you're just from a faraway distance, it won't work, unfortunately. So, Sand Tower Pistol, it will have a delay in it, so I will say no for cat spams, but I will definitely recommend for casuals for lows and moderates in this one. Waterman's Rifle, I don't see a whole lot of players use this. It does have the scope ability added, and it has a very fast fire rate in this one, and pretty good decent reload speed, and good ammo usage as well too. So for Waterman's Rifle, I will definitely not recommend it for cat spams, unless if it is possible because it has like no delay in it for swapping over any type of weapons. But it will be a pretty good decent weapon anyway if it is possible for cat spams. If it is, let me know in the comments down below. But I'll probably just put it out there anyway just for a test run of it. But for Waterman's Rifle, I will say possible for cat spams, unless if it has delay, then no. But for casuals, definitely recommend for all categories in this one because of the fast fire rate. High Pressure Rifle. This one had a very big, massive area damage. It's good for sniper forts, but I believe the only downside is that its area damage, I believe they nerfed it just a tiny bit. But unless it does have the big area damage, it's sometimes like one full hit to the head and to the body. But I believe it had like a few nerfs with its damage rate, so unfortunately it had to be just only 2 hits to the body and 2 hits to the head. But if it's just like directly on contact with the enemy, then it'll just be 1 hit anything. And it is also possible for cat spams in this one as well too. Pretty decent reload speed and good ammo usage for it as well too. So not much I can say about high pressure rifles, so I will definitely recommend this for cat spams and casuals for lows, moderates, and highs. The Sharknado, I'm just gonna call it that, but I know it says like Sharkado. But for this one, the Sharknado in this one, it's a stream beam ability, and I believe they did do damage playtest with it. And I believe it's just going to be like numerous people using any type of stream beam weapons in this one, so that they can just kill the enemy in like 2 seconds flat, or roughly like 1.5 seconds. Its reload is pretty decent. Very good ammo usage as well too. It takes up like 20 to start to get the fully charge ability added in for the charge shot and the stream beam as well too. So for Sharknado, it cannot be cat spammed because of the charge shot and the stream ability in this one. So I would still recommend this for casuals at lows and moderates only as well. But also pretty well experienced for high levels as well too, if you have good experience with this weapon as well. But there's going to be not a whole lot of folks use this weapon anyway because there's going to be other types of stream beam weapons in this. The Shower Sprinkler, it's a type of flamethrower weapon. For this one, I don't see a whole lot of folks use it. But I'm not sure about bots as well. It may have the headshot ability added in, but it turns out it doesn't. It does not have the scope ability, so that's the biggest downside about it. Its reload is pretty slow, but it has a pretty decent amount of ammo for it. Its range is pretty well, but the biggest concern is that it will not have the scope on it. So for this one, I will definitely not recommend for cat spams because it's a flamethrower type weapon. But I'll definitely recommend this for low players only, and maybe a little bit for moderates as well. Next up is the Star Shard. I don't see a whole lot of players use this because the only biggest downside is that it has a delay and it has the manual guidance. Same thing to a similar thing as the Stinger and the Stinger 3000 in it. So for Star Shard, I don't see a whole lot of players use it, but it does have a pretty fast reload speed in it and good ammo usage. Plus with the burning ability as well too. It can 1 to 2 hit to the body, 1 hit to the head. But I never touched this weapon for like quite some time, but I still barely use it that often just in case for just like fun and whatnot. But for Star Shard, definitely not recommend for cat spams because of two things: the delay and the manual guidance with it. So, no for cat spams, but I would definitely recommend for casuals for lows and moderates. Oh, great. Am I got to talk about the solar flare in this one? I thought the next one was going to be the magnetic storm, but oh boy. Solar flare, the most annoying and rage quitting weapon of all times. There's been multiple cousins with this weapon anyway. There's been thousands of nerfs, and there's not a whole lot of players use it. Super slow reload, only one-time use, very annoying area effect damage with its plasma rocket. So annoying. It can still one-hit anyone within range on the actual plasma rocket itself, and also with the area effect as well too. This one cannot be cat spammed, but I would definitely not recommend for all casuals, but I will still recommend only for low levels, only for beginners. For moderates and high levels, I know maybe a little bit annoying for them, but I'm not going to recommend it for those guys, but I can only recommend for low levels only for that one. Solar Flare, because it had an ammo usage of 8 and could just be infinite amount, whatever you like, and its reload is still pretty fast as well when it was first introduced. It was first introduced in the trader's van and whatnot, but thousands of nerfs, and not a single person has used this weapon ever since. Because there's other weapons that have that type of thing, and no one has never even used any type of plasma rocket ability and with the area effect in it. So I'm done talking about that weapon anyway. But moving right up is the Magnetic Storm. I do see bots use this weapon anyway. It can 3-hit the player to the body, and I believe it is possible for a headshot. No, it's not, unfortunately. It does have the piercing shot ability in it. Limited amount of ammo, but it cannot be reloaded, so it's pretty decent. Unfortunately, it may not be cat spammed unless if it is possible. Like I said a few videos back, I never touched these weapons for quite some time. So just bear with me on that. But Magnetic Storm, like I said, you'll see a whole lot of bots use this weapon anyway. But not much I can say about it, but I would definitely recommend for casuals, for lows and moderates, and so on and so forth. But it is not possible for cat spams in this one. Moving up next is the Ectoplasmic Grenade Launcher. This has a contact mine ability in it. It can one-hit entirely to anything. It does have a slight delay for cat spams, so I'll probably say it is possible for it. But you have to be in a very good hiding distance to make sure you get the quick delay added in, and then you can start firing it. But you'll see like thousands of folks use this weapon anyway, because I believe it had a huge buff or something, or like a few buffs during the damage playtest run anyway. Pretty good ammo usage and very decent fast reload speed in this one, so really fun to use. So I would definitely recommend for casuals at lows and moderates, and also very well experienced high-level players. And it will be possible for cat spams, but don't forget, it will have the delay in it. And it does also have the scoping on it. Next up is the reversed pistol. This cannot be cat spammed, unfortunately, because of its delay. It does have the ammo restore ability, which is the second weapon that does have it. Pretty decent reload, no scope, very good ammo usage in this one. Not seeing a whole lot of players use this weapon anyway, so for reverse pistol, I will say no for cat spams, yes for casuals, for lows, and moderates only for this one. The Activity Neutralizer. This one is possible for a cat spam in this one. It's an OG type weapon because of its ricochet and laser ability, and also has the scope ability. It is good for sniper forts because it's an option for it. I do use this weapon as well too for cat spam wise as well too, because of its like ricochet and laser type weapons. It can one hit to any type of body, but don't forget with any type of modules you have, like modules level 3 or 5 or 7 or something else like that, it depends on what you have, and it only depends on like how many hits it takes to actually get the enemy down. Pretty decent reload and very good ammo usage for it, so I'll definitely recommend this for cat spams. It's an OG weapon, and for casuals, any category related. The Goo Substance Rifle. For this one, it's an automatic type weapon, so no for cat spams. Very fast fire rate and good damage per second as well too because of the poison. Headshot at it in. Not much I can say about this, so no for cat spams, and yes for casuals for lows and moderates. The Goo Substance Pistol, it's the same thing as for the rifle one, but for this one it's just like a semi-auto. No for cat spams in this one, unfortunately. So it can also take up like almost like a full hit with a semi-auto in it for the headshot, and maybe possible for the body shot in it, so just be very wary about it. I will definitely recommend this for casuals for lows only, because for the low level players, they're like for beginners, so any chance that they see this type of weapon, they can use it for any type of gameplay and whatnot, and would also be helpful for XP grind as well too. But for moderates and high level players, they can find other type of weapons because they want to be cat spam players. So for Goo Substance Pistol, no for cat spams because of the delay. Yes for casuals for lows for low level players only. The Goo Substance Scythe. This one is like the most annoying weapon because of its huge area damage effect in this one. I do see bots use this weapon. It is also recommended in Knife Party as well, so for any type of good area damage weapons, this would be a good thing to go for in it. The Goo Substance Scythe may have a delay in it, so probably not possible for cat spams in this one. It can possible almost one hit to the head, but it only takes 2 hits. Same thing apply with the body as well too. So Goo Substance Scythe, possible for cat spams, but may have a delay, so no. But I'll definitely recommend this for casuals, for lows and moderates. The PGA TV, it has a slight delay, so it will be possible for cat spams. It has the most annoying consecutive explosion. It's kind of the same scenario as the Cthulhu Legacy in this one, and the band Hammer. But it has a pretty decent reload and good ammo usage in this one. Most people use this weapon anyway just for fun and just be annoying, because it can just like one hit to anything in general. So for the PGA TV, I would say possible for cat spams, but it will have a slight delay in it. But for casuals, I would definitely recommend for lows, moderates, and very well experienced for high level players as well. The Doll. This one has the more damage and curse ability, so probably a good weapon, but unfortunately it cannot be cat spammed because of its huge delay animation. So for the Doll itself, it is possible for like one hit entirely for any type of body part, but with its more damage ability, it's not possible for it, so it can only like take 2 hits. Not a whole lot of players use this weapon anyway, so for the Doll, I would definitely recommend for casuals, for lows, and moderates only. But it cannot be cat spammed in this one, because like I said, for the delay animation. PGA Gates. This has a charge shot ability, but it will be possible for cat spams entirely, but you have to be very mindful of its charge shots. So it's possible for like one hit entirely, and it will also have the teleport animation added in as well. So you have to be very mindful about it and see like where you actually have to hit it. But for this one, I never touched this weapon for quite some time, but for this one, I would definitely recommend for possible for cat spams, but like I said, the charge shot, and it may have a tiny little delay in it. But for casuals, I would definitely recommend for lows, moderates, and high level players because of the teleportation ability in it. The PGA Living Rifle. Not seeing quite any time of players use this type of weapon anyway. I don't know why I'm saying my words are a little bit confusing anyway, but never seen a whole lot of players use this weapon anyway, but it has a pretty good damage rate and damage per second fire rate as well too. I meant to swap the other words around, but you'll get what I mean. Decent reload, very good ammo usage as well too for an automatic. It cannot be cat spammed unfortunately because of an automatic type weapon. It cannot be pierced through, so no piercing shot ability. It does have the scope ability added in. And a pretty good poison damage as well too. So for the living rifle, no for cat spams, yes for casuals, for lows and moderates. And also does have the damage sphere ability, which is taking a few damage like pretty fast. So it'll take like 7 seconds if you're not doing anything. But you might have to help out with the assistance as well too for it. The PGA Slender Touch. This is an OG weapon. It can one-hit entirely to anything for the head and to the body. It does also have the headshot ability added in, including the scope. It is also good for sniper forts as well too. But I believe it does not have the X-ray vision on it, but it does have the gadget blocker ability added in. So you'll probably see a few people use the Slender Touch anyway because of its blinding. I think it's probably the most ever blinding effect ever, because it just like turns into like a static TV thing and it's really hard to see. So you'll probably see a few players use this weapon anyway for cat spam wise. So this one, OG weapon for cat spams and for casuals, lows, moderates, and highs. Screaming Saw. I do see a few folks use this weapon anyway. It can one hit entirely to the head and 2 hits to the body. It is good for knife party, so it's definitely recommended in this mode anyway for team fight and deathmatch for knife party in this one. So a pretty good weapon, and it has a very good, huge range attack as well too for it. So for Screaming Saw, it would be possible for a cat spam, but it may have a delay in it, so no. But definitely yes for casuals, for moderates, and high-level players, and also for beginners for lows as well too. So for lows, moderates, and high-level players in that one. Next up is the Atomic Splitter. I thought I said Spitter, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Its area is pretty good. Takes 2 activations for the third one to hit the Super Punch in it. But it may have a delay, so no for cat spams, but yes for casuals, for lows and moderates, and very well experienced for high levels as well too. But it may have a tiny little bit delay for cat spams in this one, so I'll probably say it's possible, but guaranteed no for cat spams in this one. The Demirian Divider. This one is possible for cat spams, but be in mind for what weapons you're using. If you're using the Reflector or Laser Bouncer because of its laser ability and the Ricochet ability, this will give you a delay for it if you're swapping over from your Special and your Sniper for this one. But if you do have like the Poison Darts or the Necklace of the Ice King, then it will not give you a delay. So the Demirian Divider, I do see bots use this weapon anyway, so it's an OG weapon, and yes for cat spams because of the critical hit ability added in. And it's also good for sniper forts, I believe, as well too. So OG weapon for cat spams and for casuals, any category in general. The Restructure on this one, it's a stream beam ability. It takes up roughly like 20%. 20 ammo as well too. So it cannot be cat spammed in this one, unfortunately, because of the stream beam and the charge shot. So no for cat spams, and yes for casuals, for lows and moderates in this one. So it's a pretty decent weapon in my opinion. The Anomaly Concentrator. Never seen a whole lot of folks use this because of the flamethrower type weapon, aka the electric thrower in this one. Very slow reload and decent amount of ammo. Never seen a whole lot of folks use this. Very good range distance as well too for it. So I would probably recommend for casuals, for moderates and lows. For cat spams, no. The Block Plasma Module, for this one, it's a cluster ability, but it may have a delay, so no for cat spams. It's possible for one hit entirely on contact, and also with the cluster ability as well too. Pretty decent reload and pretty decent ammo as well too. It does have the scope ability on it. And I believe this may be also the very first scope ability for the special. I could be totally wrong. But for the plasma module in this one, I would say no for cat spams because of the delay. But definitely for casuals for moderates and lows as well. And very well experienced for high levels as well too. Plasma Beast, unfortunately, I don't know why at first, but Plasma Beast should be a melee in this one, but it's a special category, and it has, like, no ammo usage at all, so just infinite amount. It does have the Super Punch ability in it, so it could just be, like, a fire range in it as well, too, for, like, how long it could be. But it takes, like, 3 hit activations, and then the 4th one will be the Super Punch ability. So for Plasma Beast, I never seen a lot of folks use it, but it did have a glitch in the system where you can use it as a knife party, where it had like 2 melee options of either the melee or the special, but unfortunately it did get patched. So I don't see a whole lot of folks use this weapon, but I would definitely recommend for casuals, for low-level players only, and it also does have the rocket jump ability, but make sure you have the Super Punch activated, and then you can just rocket jump out of there. And pretty good area damage as well, too, for the Super Punch in it. So for Plasma Beast, no for cat spams, yes for casuals, for low-level players only. The drone combat system, I do see bots use this weapon. It cannot be cat spammed, unfortunately, because it maybe have a delay, and also has the manual guidance ability added in. So I will definitely say no for cat spams, but yes for casuals, for lows and moderates as well. And that's it about that one. Maximum Cruelty. I don't see a whole lot of folks use this, but it did had a nerf a while back, ever since it was first introduced. It can one-hit entirely to anything, but the only bright side about it is that it does not have the gravitation force ability added in, so that's the biggest bright side about it. But it can like one hit entirely to anything like the body or to the head, but I believe it does not have the headshot ability added in. So Maximum Cruelty, I will say maybe not for cat spams because of its delay, maybe, and because it also has the charge shot in it. But for casuals, lows and moderates, I will definitely recommend. And very well experienced for high-level players as well, too, just for the lucky hits. The Repressor, I don't see a whole lot of folks use this anyway, but I would probably say no for cat spams in this one because it's a stream beam ability, but does not have the charge shot, which is a good thing about it. But it may have a delay in it, so no for that. And it has the scope on it, but it does not have the zoom ability added in. So for the Repressor, no for cat spams, but it may have a delay in it. But yes for casuals, for lows and moderates. And very rare chance for high-level players as well, too, for it as well. The Fear and Despair, I do not see a whole lot of folks use this, but maybe see bots use this weapon anyway. So for this one, no for cat spams in this one, but it may have because of the delay. But it has a pretty good ammo usage and very decent fast reload speed on it. So that'll probably be a good sign for it. Fear and Despair, I would say for casuals, for moderates and low-level players only for this one. But I would probably not recommend for high-level players because they want to find a pretty good backup for cat spams for this one. So for this one, I would definitely recommend for moderates and low-level players only for the Fear and Despair weapon. But no for cat spams in this one because of the delay. Rude Bully, it's the same thing as for Fear and Despair, but the only thing about it has like a shoot in 3 directions ability added in. And it does also have the chainsaw ability, but the chainsaw ability is like so slow. Its reload is pretty fast and pretty good ammo usage as well too. I would definitely not recommend for cat spam wise because of the 3 shots ability and the chainsaw ability. And plus it's an automatic type weapon. So no for cat spams, definitely. But for casuals, I would probably say for lows and moderates for this one. Laser Ninja, it's an OG type weapon, so definitely recommend for cast spams in this one. And I do see bots use this weapon as well too. It does have the scope ability. Its reload is pretty decent and good ammo usage as well too. Because previously I believe it was 8, now it's 7. The best thing about it, it has the reload while invisible ability, which is pretty helpful to get out of there as soon as possible. But the players will still see you anyway when you're still invisible when trying to reload, so be very mindful about it. So for Laser Ninja, yes for cat spams, and it's an OG type weapon. For casuals, lows, moderates, and highs. The Rebel, I do believe it's also a cat spam weapon for this one, but it did had a few nerfs in this one, unfortunately, so it can be only 2 hits to the head and 2 hits to the body. It does have the headshot added in. It also does have the damage during reload time as well too, so it can be really helpful. So for this one, I'll probably say maybe cat spammable for this one, but also like an OG type weapon. For casuals, lows and moderates, and high level experienced players as well too. Mobile Outpost. I don't see a whole lot of folks use this type of weapon anyway. For this one, it's an automatic type weapon, and it does have the barrier around it for like a good defense. But I do believe it has the healing ability, so it can probably just heal you entirely if you're low on HP and just use this weapon when not shooting. It can just heal you entirely. So for Mobile Outpost, I'll probably say no for cat spams because it's an automatic type weapon. But yes for casuals, for lows, moderates, and high level experienced players in case if they need to regain some HP real quick. Outlaw Catcher, definitely no for cat spams because it's a very huge delay in it. But for its reload, it's pretty slow, but I'll definitely recommend for casuals for lows only, like low level players, and maybe a little bit for moderates as well too. And the best thing about it, it has the disabled jumps, and I believe it does have the gadget blocker ability added in, so it's really fun to use, and it also has the headshot ability added in as well too. But I don't see a whole lot of players use this type of weapon anyway, so for casuals, lows, and a little bit moderate, but for cat spam players, no for this one. Because of the delay. The Fair Sheriff. This one is a OG type weapon, pretty fast fast reload, and a pretty good decent amount of damage. It can one hit entirely to the body or to the head, including what modules you have, and the higher, the better you'll be as well too for it. I use this weapon sometimes as well too if I want to find like a better type of testing weapon for cat spams. I still use this anyway just in case. Because of its ammo usage, it's like 10, and I believe previously it was like 8, but now it's like the capacity of like 10 or whatever it is, but yeah. For Fair Sheriff, I'll definitely say OG type weapon for cat spams, and for casuals, any category in general for Fair Sheriff. We are about halfway there until we reach to the end. So for number 853, the Minigun Cyber Module, I will say no for cat spams in this one because it's a minigun ability and it does have the ammo restore ability. So no for cat spams, unfortunately. But I would definitely recommend for casuals, for low level players only, and a little bit for moderates. The MED Surgery Module. This is the third dash ability weapon added in. The ever first one is the Sly Wolf because of the dash ability for it, and the second was the Percival and the Lamarok, or whatever it is. I forgot the actual name of it. But this one, I would probably say it's a pretty decent weapon. It cannot be cat spammed because of its delay animation. But I would probably say it would be good for Knife Party for this one if you don't have any type of dash weapon abilities. But for this one, I'll probably say for casuals, for lows, and a little bit of moderates. But definitely recommend it for low-level players in this one. So that's it for the MED Surgery Module. Supply airdrop. This one has the teammate's healing ability added in, but you have to make sure you're aiming directly at the player to have them healed up. For the supply drop in general, it just like when you fire it, there's like a plane coming by, and the big ammo crate comes down, and that's where the actual attack comes into play. So you have to be very mindful about it. And the flare does help out with the assistance. Unfortunately, it cannot be cat spammed to this one because of the delay animation, unfortunately. But I would definitely recommend for raids, for like clans and minigame raids as well too, like Dead City and Magical Valley, for example. For supply airdrop, for casuals, I would say for lows and moderates, but not a whole lot of high level players use this weapon anyway, for supply airdrop. Oh boy. Battle Falcon. To my opinion, I don't know why at first, but like I thought this was gonna be a type of pet, but it's not. It's an actual weapon. This has the consecutive explosion added in for the ability, and now it had a few nerfs in it, but now it's like only 2 hits to the entire person to like anything. It cannot be a headshot, unfortunately, but it can only be like body shot because of the consecutive explosion. Most players use this type of weapon anyway in like pool party, like classic pool and back rooms, for example, because they're both entirely the same. Because they just want to use this entirely because they want to go up and like when players are like on top of like the roof of like the pool area and just use this entirely, just keep on spamming through like on the underneath inside corridor. So for Battle Falcon, no for cat spams because of the delay animation when it enters in to your hand. But for casuals, I would definitely recommend for lows and a little bit of moderates. And you'll probably see high level players use this weapon anyway because they're very well experienced for it. Next up is the Super Mega Expedition Tool, or SMET for short. This one, never seen a whole lot of players use this type of weapon anyway. It does have the healing ability for you just in case. It can take 2 to 3 hits. It does have the bleeding ability added in. Not a whole lot of players use this, like I said. Fortunately, it cannot be cat spammed in this one because it may have a delay animation added in. We're about to swap over. But for casuals, I'll probably say for lows, moderates only for this one. But for this one right here, it can also be good for clan raids and minigame raids as well too for this one. Because of the healing ability in case you want to heal yourself. The Pneumatic Needle Rifle. This can be possible for cat spams, but if it has a delay, then no. So I'll probably say it's an OG type weapon. It does have the bleeding ability, the scope ability, and the headshot added in as well too. It's 11 ammo usage, so it's pretty good. Pretty fast fire rate and good damage rate as well too. Not much I can say about this weapon anyway, so for this one I will say it's an OG type weapon for cat spams, but if it has a delay, then no. For casuals, I will say for lows, moderates, and highs in this one. Next up is the Summon Dagger. I do see bots use this weapon as well too. It is good for knife party in this one because of its damage radius, and you also have to help out with the assistance as well too. It does have the headshot added in. With the assistance as well too, would be really helpful is for the knife and for the monster as well too. But for the damage ability, it's like super like it takes like a little bit, but you need to help out with the assistance for this one. So I'll probably say no for cat spams because of the delay animation, but yes for casuals, for lows, moderates, and very well experienced for high level players for this one. Moving up next is the Frozen Hearts. This can be possible for cat spam, but don't forget it will have the delay animation added in. So for Frozen Heart, I would say it's the weapon itself. So for Frozen Heart, I would say yes for cat spams, but don't forget it will have the delay added in. It's the same similarity as the submarine, the combat drone submarine, or whatever this thing is called. I think it's, I just can't remember the name right off the bat. But for this one, will be a cast spam weapon to use, but don't forget the delay. But for casuals, I will probably say for moderates and high level players, and lucky chance for low level players as well too for this one. Eye of the Storm. Never seen a whole lot of folks use this type of weapon anyway. It does have the raindrops coming down on the player, but unfortunately it does not entirely one hit entirely to the player for the body and to the head. But unfortunately for this one, I don't see a whole lot of players use this, so I would say no for cat spams because of the delay. But for casuals, I would probably recommend for low level players only and a little bit for moderates. Frosty Fangs. Never seen a whole lot of players use this type of weapon. For this one, I will probably say no for cat spams for the delay. Unless if it has no delay, then it will be possible for cat spams in this one. For casuals, I would probably say for lows and moderates only for this one. It does have the bleeding ability as well too, and it does not have this scope, unfortunately. And it's a pretty good, decent weapon anyway, and pretty good ammo usage for this one as well too. So for casuals, lows and moderates, and for cat spam players, no for this one because it has probably the delay in it. Next up is Combat Candy. Don't get too confused with the Combat Baton because it's like a candy cane type melee, but this one's a Combat Candy. This one does have the cat spam ability added in for it. I meant to say this is a cat spam type weapon for it, so it's a pretty good weapon to use. 7 ammo usage with the bleeding and the blinding effect added in, so it's really fun. For casuals, I will definitely recommend it to all categories in this one. So, like, for example, if you don't have, like, Ultimatum or the Viking or Acid Shotgun, Combat Candy will be the best weapon to go for entirely because it just take, like, 1 to 2 hits to the body and to the head entirely. The Ho-Ho Rocket. This may be possible for cat spams, but it's only, like, 1 ammo usage. But if it has a delay, then no. So I'd be very mindful about it. It can, like, one hit entirely to any person, including with the burning effect added in. So for this one, I'll probably say no for cat spams if it has a delay. If not, then it is. But for casuals, I'll probably say for lows and moderates only for this one. The Explosive Caramel or Caramel, either one, I'm not sure how you pronounce it anyway. This one is an OG type weapon. It did have a few nerfs at the time, but it's still a pretty good, decent weapon for Christmas edition. It can entirely almost like one hit to the body, but you had to help out with the assistance as well too. With it, it does have the headshot ability added in. Unless if it does, then yeah. It's pretty good for sniper forts, but it'll probably be annoying because you'll see few folks use this weapon anyway because of most of the challenges they're doing. But you'll probably see a whole lot of folks use this weapon anyway for cat spam wise for this one, so it's definitely an OG type weapon for this. And for casuals, I'll probably say for moderates and high level players, and very lucky chance for low level players as well too for this one. The Candy Revolver, it does have a delay, so no for cat spams in this one, but I would definitely recommend for casuals for lows and moderates in this one, and maybe very well experienced for high level players in this one if they have like a very slim chance for a slight delay, and good for cat spams for this one. The Elven Killer Rifle, for this one, very fast fire rate and very good damage per second, and very decent reload for this one and good ammo usage. I will probably say no for cat spams because it's an automatic type weapon, but for casuals, I would definitely recommend for lows and moderates only for this one. The Assassin's Daggers. I do see a few folks use this, especially for bots. It can 2-hit entirely to the head, and maybe possible for. Unfortunately, it's only 3 hits to the body for this one. You can use this in Knife Party. It's a weapon option for this one, so it's really fun to use. For this one, I'll probably say no for cat spams because of a little delay in it. But for casuals, I will say for any category in general, and it's also good for Knife Party, like I said. Because of the critical ability and the invisibility after killing the enemy ability with it as well too. The Farewell Volley, it's a semi-auto sniper. It can be possible for cat spams in this one, but don't forget, for swapping over to a weapon like for this one right here, the Farewell Volley, and swapping over to a heavy, it will sometimes take you 2 hits and then just swap over to your weapon and then just come right back. It will not give you the full 3 shots in it, unfortunately. So for Farewell Volley, I will definitely recommend for cat spams because it'll probably be an OG type weapon. But for casuals, I would definitely recommend for any category in general. We are about almost there, and I do apologize if the video is long because most of these weapons, sometimes I forget what I should say about these anyway because most of my words are a little bit confusing, but you'll get the picture anyway of what I'm trying to say. But anyways, Mystic Potion. I did test this weapon out a few days ago or a few months ago or whatever it is. It cannot be cat spammed, unfortunately, because of the delay animation. Very fast reload speed and pretty good ammo usage as well too. It can be used for clan raids and minigame raids as well too because of the teammates healing ability added in. So it's really helpful. And for casuals, I'll probably definitely recommend for moderates and low-level players for the Mystic Potion. The Siege Crossbow, I'll probably say maybe for cat spams in this one, but if it has a delay, then no. But for casuals, I'll probably definitely recommend for lows and a little bit of moderates in this one. So Siege Crossbow, definitely for casuals, but no for cat spams unless if it has a delay in it. But if it doesn't, then definitely yes for a cat spam type weapon. The only downside is that when doing cat spams with this, it has the looping shot ability, so I have to be very mindful about it. Next up is the Storm Poleaxes. For this one, you can use it in a Knife Party. It is possible for 1 hit entirely to the head. It's 2 activation for the 3rd hit for the Super Punch ability. 1 hit to the head, like I said. It's also possible for maybe 1 hit to the body, but it's only 2 hits to the head. It does have a damage sphere ability added, I think, but it does not. No, but it does disable jumps, though, which will be really helpful. So I'll say no for cat spams because of the delay, I believe. But it's good for Knife Party in this one, so I'll definitely recommend for low-level players for this one because of the disabled jumps for this. And maybe a little bit for moderates as well. The Prophet's Staff, it has a charge shot ability in it because they need to do the full vine thing or whatever it is. But I will definitely not recommend for cat spams in this one because it's a charge shot ability. For casuals, I'll probably say for lows and moderates for this one. And maybe very well experienced for high-level players for this as well. For the Prophet's Staff. Next up is Thor's Hammer. I do see thousands of folks use this weapon anyway because of its ability and whatnot for disable jumps and gadget blocker, I believe, for this one. No, it's only disabled jumps, no gadget blocker included for this one. It's a charge shot, pretty decent ammo usage for this one, and I believe its reload is pretty decent, but maybe a little bit slow for this. But for Thor's Hammer, it can 1 hit entirely when it's fully charged, and it can also go through walls and whatnot, like when you're in classic pool and back rooms. They're both the same, so I'm just gonna call it classic pool entirely. Because when you're like up at when you're on the bottom and then players are like on top and whatnot, you can use it entirely just to like annoy people that are up above and whatnot. So Thor's hammer, no for cat spams because of delay, yes for casuals for any category in general. The Gary and the Frecky, I'm not sure. I'm totally saying these names wrong. For this one, I believe you can use this in Knife Party. It's a 2 activation for the Super Punch. Its Super Punch is like really like outstanding because it can like do like a side to side animation for the Super Punch. It can 2 to 3 hits to the body and I believe 1 to 2 hits to the head with it, so it's really fun to use for Knife Party, but unfortunately it cannot be cat spam because of the delay animation. So cat spam no, casuals for lows and moderates for this one, and maybe very well experienced for high level players in this one. The Sleipnir, I do see a few folks use this weapon, but not a whole lot of players use it entirely. Because its fire rate is pretty fast. It's an automatic type weapon. It cannot be cat spammed. It does have the critical ability. I thought it does, but I think it's more like a secret type weapon for this. So yeah, pretty good ammo usage, pretty fast fire rate, no for cat spams, pretty good damage per second, and amazing fire rate. For casuals, I would definitely recommend this for lows and moderates for this one. And also very well experienced for high level players as well too for it. The Hugin, for this one, I do see folks use it. It's an OG type weapon, but it may have a slight delay in it. It does also have travel time for it included, I believe, when trying to fire it. Slow reload, pretty good ammo usage. It does have the chain damage ability for it, so it's really helpful for like a good combo for cat spam wise and whatnot. But for this one, I'll probably say yes for cat spams, and for casuals, all categories for this one. Moving up next is the Deceitful Cheater. I do see bots use this, but not a whole lot of players. It's a contact detonator, and it's a looping shot ability. It's a little bit annoying, but you have to like be very mindful about it, and you have to aim like at the right time when the player's coming at you. Its reload is pretty decent, good ammo usage. It does have the blinding ability, so it's really helpful as well too. But not much I can say about this. It has no scope in it, so I'll probably say no for cat spams because it may have a delay in it. For casuals, I'll probably say for lows and moderates for this one. For the Cunning Flame for this one, it does have the ricochet ability. Same thing as for the Winged Revolver, but there's not much you can say about this. It does have the same similarity as for the Deceitful Cheater for the cat spam ability, so no for that. But I'll probably definitely recommend this for lows and moderates for casuals for this. The Harbinger of Ragnarok. This is a pretty good weapon for all casual players for this one, for lows, moderates, and highs, because of its fast fire rate and good damage per second usage as well. Pretty good ammo usage and pretty decent reload speed as well too for it. So for this one, no for cat spams, yes for casuals for all categories for this. Sun Eater. It's a stream beam type weapon, so no for cat spams, and it may have a delay animation for it as well too. Its reload is pretty slow, but it takes up 20 ammo to make it a fully charged shot for the stream ability for it. So I'll probably say for casuals, for low level players only, and a little bit for moderates. The Call of Valhalla. It has a very amazing abilities, which is the teammates healing ability and the stream ability and the damage boost for allies ability. So this could be really helpful for raids, for clans, and minigame raids for these. But unfortunately, it cannot be cat spam to this one. So no for cat spams, and I'll probably say yes for casuals, for lows and moderates, and very well experienced for high level players as well too. The winged bow, I think this may be possible for cat spams, but if it has a delay, then no. It has like multiple shots, similar to like the rocket hands, but the only downside, it has like the looping shot ability, and it's really fun to use. It does have the headshot added in, so it's really helpful for it. Not much I can say about this weapon, so I'll probably say maybe possible for cat spams, but if it has a delay, then no. But for casuals, I'll probably say for all categories in this one. The Warhorse, I never seen anyone use this weapon ever since it was first introduced. For this one, I'll probably say no for cat spams because of its delay and whatnot. But for casuals, I'll probably definitely recommend this for low-level players only because I've never seen anyone use this for quite some time. The glitched machine gun. This one is maybe possible, but probably not for cat spams because of its glitched ability for this one. It's super slow reload speed. It has infinite ammo for whenever you're reloading and whatnot. It does not want to say like out of ammo. So it's really fun to use. It's 33 ammo usage, is pretty good. Very slow reload speed, so probably not for cat spam wise on this one, unfortunately, because it's an automatic type weapon. It does have the random effects, so I'll definitely recommend this for casuals, for lows, and a little bit moderate level players for it. We have 10 more to go, and like I said, I do apologize for my videos if they're super long because I wanted to do a little backstory about these guys anyway. And sometimes I know maybe a little bit confused about like, what is he saying about this? But you'll probably understand what I'm saying. Next up is the Perfect Rocket Launcher. This one has the ability of the no self-damage ability, and I believe this is the only one that has the no self-damage ability for this. So it can be really fun, but the only downside, it has like the delay and whatnot, and I think it's just only the delay animation for swapping over weapons for cat spams. So it's a big definite no for cat spams in this one, but for casuals, I'll probably say for lows and moderates, and maybe very well high experience level players as well too. Next up is the Noob Rifle. I do see bots use this weapon. It can one hit entirely to the body and to the head, unless if it has, like, depends on what modules you have. So for Noob Rifle, slow reload speed, pretty decent amount ammo. Yes, for cat spams, and for casuals, I'll definitely recommend for all categories in this one. And I believe it is also used in sniper forts as well too, I believe. Next up is Evil Rubik's Cube. It does have the healing ability, so it can definitely heal you just in case. Like, if you don't have the heroic epi or anything else like that, you can use this type of weapon to help you out. Its reload is pretty decent, good ammo usage. It does also have the damage during reload ability, so it's really helpful for it, but I don't see a whole lot of players use this weapon, so I'll probably say no for cat spams because it may have a delay in it. But for casuals, I'll probably say for low level players only for this, and maybe a little bit for moderates. Super Pixel Gun. I believe this is the very first introduction of its bonus points ability added in for this. Like bonus revenge points, bonus assist points, and bonus kill points for it. But ever since they had to do a nerf with those bonus points, they had to change it to something else. Because there's not a whole lot of players use these type of weapons anyway, because they want to do the bonus kill points for more, for like deathmatch wise and whatnot. But for Super Pixel Gun, I would probably say no for cat spams because of its delay. But its reload is pretty good, so I'll definitely recommend this for casuals, for low-level players only, just to test out the weapon, and maybe a little bit for moderates as well, too. Because of the critical and the bonus revenge points. Final Verdict. This is an OG type weapon. It's almost like the same cousins as the Ultimatum because of its skin type. So for Final Verdict, I'll probably say yes for cat spams, and it's also good for sniper forts as well too for a laser type weapon. It can one hit entirely to the body or to the head entirely, depends on what modules you have. For casuals, I'll definitely recommend for all categories in this one. The Piercer, this is the very first ever weapon that has the shield penetration on it. Its reload is pretty decent, and pretty good ammo usage as well too. For the Piercer, it cannot be cat spammed because it's a delay with it. So no for cat spams, but definitely for casuals, for lows, for all categories for it. So just in case if you see players with the shield with it, like the Sly Wolf or the Spear Mask or the third weapon, which I'm not going to say yet until I reach that point. Definitely a good weapon to use for this type of weapon anyway. Next up is the Borders Eraser. It's a charge shot ability. It's the same thing as the it's the same thing as for the Wood Tier clan division heavy weapon. The Eraser, that's the name. It's the same thing as the Eraser, but the gravitational force is a little bit short, while the Eraser has like a long duration of the gravitational force added in. For the charge shot, it can one hit entirely to the body, and I believe it has no headshot damage for this. So no fun for that. It was 3 ammo usage. It was like 3 ammo usage before, but now it's 8. So for Borders Eraser, I'll probably say no for cat spams because of the charge shot, but definitely for casuals, for lows and moderates for this one. 3 more left. Next up is the Demonic Crusher. This cannot be cat spammed, unfortunately, because of its delay. It does have the Super Punch ability. I believe it's 2 activation for it, so we can double check and see. 3 activations, and then the 4th one would be the Super Punch. So it's really fun weapon to use. It can one hit anything to the body or to the head. So Demonic Crusher, no for cat spams because of the delay. But for casuals, I'll probably say for lows and moderates for this one. Next up is the Dual Beam. This one has a secret ability, which is the Wall Break ability. Its ammo is like amazing, pretty decent reload speed, 60 ammo usage, which is pretty awesome. I believe it cannot be cat spammed, so it may have a delay in it. So that's all I can say about that one. But for Dual Beam, I will definitely recommend for casuals, for low-level players and moderates. But I do see bots use this type of weapon anyways. Finally is the Ronin, the most annoying weapon of all. Because it can legit, like, kill the enemy, like, in 1 second when it's, like, fully charged. And they can still just keep spamming this weapon anyway, whatever they like. Just for the fun of it. But it cannot be cat spammed, unfortunately. It was during the event for the Extraction event for the 10-year anniversary of Pixel Gun 3D for this one. So, most players use this weapon anyway, just for fun. But for Ronin, it did have, like, a few nerfs at the time. And now most players don't use it that often. But for this weapon, I will say no for cat spams because of the Stream Beam and the charge shot. But for casuals, I will definitely recommend for low-level players and moderates. But definitely for high-level player experience as well too for it. And that will conclude part 9 of Pixel Gun 3D 100 weapon tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, Lightning Strike.